Well, we're excited to get back out here tomorrow against Marquette. Obviously we're coming off a loss against Creighton, where I thought we played hard, but thought we dominated the glass. But our shot selection, our offense has got to be a heck of a lot better. Got to take care of the ball. Got to finish a little better around the rim. Hopefully we can see that growth in our team here tomorrow night against Marquette. We just played Marquette about a week and a half ago, so our guys are very, very familiar with them. They pose a lot of challenges. Obviously, Marcus Howard is a first-team All-American level player, National Player of the Year candidate. We got to do a great job of containing him, making him earn his points. And they bullied us on the glass, up at Marquette. And we got to be able to answer that challenge. They got the two older big men inside with Theo John and Jace Johnson. Those guys are very physically imposing, and we got to do a great job of meeting that challenge on the glass if we're going to have some success tomorrow night.
Do you think about or consider trying to do something different against Marcus Howard this time out, or do you stick with what you've done traditionally against him?
Yeah, you look to see if you can make some adjustments. We put him at the line way too much last game. I felt like we weren't tight enough at him off the ball. I didn't think it was necessarily an action per se that really hurt us. They're going to put him a lot in ball screens, and they're going to allow him to play one-on-one a lot. And he is really, really difficult to guard in space. And so we got to keep the floor crowded. All 5 sets of eyes on the Xavier jersey need to be on him at all times. Like, he needs to see walls around him constantly. Now, they surround him with other really good shooters, right? It's not just Marcus Howard. Bailey can really shoot the ball. Kane can shoot the ball. Sakar Anim shooting the ball well. And he gets those guys wide open shots. They get quality looks because so much attention is given to Marcus Howard. But he's got to see all 5 sets of eyes. It's got to be a tighter floor than it was at Marquette. And we got to make him earn his points, keep him off the line.
Travis, that game at Marquette was kind of a watershed game for you guys because it precipitated the lineup changes for the last 2 games. In what areas do you think the team has progressed since the Marquette game?
I think rebounding for sure. We've rebounded the ball extremely well against Georgetown and extremely well against Creighton. I think we've been really good in that area, in that regard. Again, a lot of people probably make a big deal about the starting lineup, but it's like, how many minutes are they actually playing that lineup? At the end of the day, it's maybe 10 minutes a game or whatever max. But I do think it's really helped us on the glass, kind of get our identity back on there, which obviously we need.
So Quentin missed the last 2 games. He was day-to-day last time we talked. Do you expect him to practice today and or play tomorrow?
I don't know. He's not going to do any contact today, competing. I do think he's going to be out there. So I think it's going to be more of a game time decision tomorrow, whether he can go, kind of see how it goes today, how it feels.
Travis, Butler seemingly did a really good job against Howard, especially in the second half last Friday. Do you take any wisdom from that, or?
Yeah, he missed some shots he normally makes, though, Andy. I'll be honest. Like, he can make those shots, and he can get real hot. I thought that they did a pretty good job of, even on, like, ball screens, or they sent him off a lot of baseline staggers and screens along the baseline to try to get him loose. They did a pretty good job of keeping it tight. Like I said, it cannot be a game of one-on-one against Marcus Howard. He'll score 100 if it's that, and he's good enough to do that. He's got to see all 5 sets of eyes on him at all times, and we got to keep the floor extremely tight.
Can you face card that guy, or does that make any difference, or just to have one guy just mirror him all over? Yeah,
it's hard, because they do have some other good players. Sakar Anim's a tremendous player. He's a 5th-year senior. Theo John's good. Brendan Bailey is much improved from his freshman year to sophomore year. So they got some other guys out there. So it makes it hard, and they do a great job putting him in positions to where he can really play, make, and score. I think you got to try to limit his touches as best as you can. They're a little bit different than maybe even Seton Hall. Marcus Howard flies off more baseline staggers than he does kind of off, to the top of the key, which Miles Powell does, right? So you can kind of face guard Miles a little bit better and make his cut a little choppier. Whereas Marcus, if you do that, he's still going to go baseline. So I think, but we do want to make his catches tough. And again, like I said, all 5 sets of eyes got to be on him.
They're averaging like 78 a game. Is their defense and rebounding, though, better than it has been? Is that made them a better ball club?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're rebounding. I give a lot of credit to Jace Johnson, the grad transfer kid from Utah. He's every bit of 7 foot, 7'1", and he has been physical. He kicked our tails up at Marquette. He really changed the game when he went in the game. And then they got big Theo John in there. Theo, he's as good as a big man in our league defensively. He protects the rim. I think against Butler, he may have had like 7 block shots. But he's really good in ball screens defensively as well. And he's tremendous around protecting the rim. He gives them that physical presence that's really changed their team.
Creighton really pings the ball around. I mean, their ball movement is like zip, zip, zip. Is that a problem with your half-court offense, and that it's not? I mean, maybe you can never get to that level. I don't know, but
yeah, they move the ball. They have really skilled kids, really, 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 really skilled kids that really know how to play. And you think of Balak, that's what he was. I remember him coming out in high school, right? Tyshawn Alexander, Zagorowski. I mean, those guys are as skilled as it gets. And when you got guys that really, really, really know how to play like that, the ball hums around, man. It moves, and they can shoot the ball. So I always say your spacing is your shooting, right? And obviously they stretch you out, because they shoot the ball so dang well. And Coach McDermott does a great job putting those guys, obviously, in really good positions.
I'm curious, did you watch the broadcast of the Creighton game, the All Access? Or no?
I didn't. I did not. I watched it with no volume. So, yeah.
Well, one of the things that was curious that came out of it was, a lot of Xavier fans kind of freaking out that, it looks like Creighton knows Xavier's plays. Can you sort of educate people about why that's not surprising? It seems like it's more of like, hey, you may know what we're going to do, but we need to execute it better than you do at stopping it.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I mean, we know what they run too. I mean, everybody knows everybody in this league. It's more about the little details. Catching the ball where you're supposed to catch it, setting a good screen. Right? Are you cutting the right way? So it's always more about us. I could care less if they get a play call or not. It's like I remember we have a series called Zipper, right? And so they'd be yelling out Zipper. Well, Zipper may not be the play. There's like 7 or 8 plays within the Zipper family that we have. So again, I don't think that had any impact at all on the game.
I was also curious because the news about Kobe Bryant broke right before you guys played. What was your guys' reaction to that? And will you do anything tomorrow, uniform-wise, shoe-wise, anything to honor him?
Yeah. Number one, it's I think our guys were in shock. I think that's the first, almost like it's not believable, right? You almost think it's fake. Kobe, obviously a tremendous player, one of the best players of all time. But I think what he was doing after basketball was even had a bigger impact. All the mentoring he was doing with other basketball players, what he was doing with his daughter, and how good of a father he was. Man, it's just really sad. You feel really, really, really bad for his family, and man, it's just a tragic accident. We talked about it. We addressed it before the game. Just because you could tell our guys were a little shook up. I'm sure Creighton's guys were as well, and because those guys all grew up, idolizing Kobe Bryant. I mean, he's the guy, and just shows you how fragile life is. You got to be able to take advantage of every day. And to answer your question about what we're going to do tomorrow night, hopefully we can win by 8 or 24. It'd be nice. But I don't know. Mario's always got things up his sleeve, so I don't know. But sad, very, very sad.
Travis, we were here about 2 months ago talking about this team possibly competing to win the Big East. Sitting at 2-5 in conference, I'm curious where the team's head is at right now. Do you have a sense of how the team feels about itself right now?
You know, I mean, I think we still believe in ourselves. You know, I don't really care what the outside world says. You know, again, the outside world always is in panic mode. That's what people do. You know, we're not going to press hit panic, but we do have urgency. We got to get better. We got to get better fast and quickly. And we got to get the results out on the floor, you know, starting tomorrow night. It's a great opportunity against Marquette. Again, every goal in our league, it'll be interesting. And Seton Hall is off to a great start. I mean, they're a phenomenal team. You know, but our league, it'll be interesting to see kind of what moves forward. But as long as we take care of business and we kind of keep tunnel vision, block out all the noise, just focus on one game after the next, after the next, after the next, I have a feeling we'll be in a pretty good spot at the end of the year. Is that it? Thank you.